Welcome to my channel Car Auto, ladies and gentlemen. The 1958 Ford Fairlane holds a special place in American automotive history as a stylish, powerful, and uniquely designed car that reflected the ambition and innovation of the late 1950s. This was a time when automakers were in a race not only to dominate the market but also to impress consumers with futuristic styling, chrome-laden designs, and a growing emphasis on luxury and performance. The Ford Fairlane, especially in its 1958 iteration, stood as a shining example of this era's bold approach to automotive design. In 1958, Ford redesigned the Fairlane to keep pace with shifting consumer tastes and increasing competition from rivals like Chevrolet, Plymouth, and Oldsmobile. The car's appearance was more dramatic and flamboyant than its predecessors. It featured dual headlamps, a new trend that would soon become standard across the industry, and a wide, aggressive front grille that gave it a commanding road presence. Chrome detailing was used generously across the body, particularly around the front end, window frames, and bumpers, giving the car a gleaming, upscale look. Tail fins, a defining feature of the 1950s American cars, were also included but executed in a more modest and elegant way compared to other brands. The 1958 Ford Fairlane was offered in several trim levels, including the base Fairlane, the mid-range Fairlane 500, and the luxurious Fairlane 500 Skyliner and Sunliner. The Skyliner was especially innovative, featuring a retractable hardtop roof, an engineering marvel of its time. The roof mechanism, though complex and heavy, could fold neatly into the trunk space at the touch of a button. This system involved a series of motors, relays, switches, and solenoids, showcasing Ford's commitment to pushing the boundaries of what was possible in car design. Under the hood, the 1958 Fairlane offered a range of powerful engines. Buyers could choose from several V8 options, including the 292 cubic inch 4.8L, 332 cubic inch 5.4L, and the high-performance 352 cubic inch 5.8L Interceptor engine. These engines provided impressive horsepower for the time, with the Interceptor delivering up to 300 horsepower, depending on configuration. Paired with either a 3-speed manual, a manual with overdrive, or Ford's Cruise-O-Matic automatic transmission, the Fairlane was a capable and smooth cruiser that could easily handle highway speeds and long-distance travel. The car's interior matched its bold exterior with a spacious cabin, two-tone color schemes, and chrome trim throughout. The dashboard was wide and sleek, with rounded gauges and push-button controls for various functions. Bench seats were standard, and the quality of materials used, including vinyl and cloth combinations, gave the Fairlane a premium feel. In the Skyliner and Sunliner models, Ford emphasized luxury, comfort, and convenience, making them popular choices among middle and upper-class buyers seeking a bit of flash with their daily drive. The 1958 model year was a challenging one for the American auto industry. A recession had set in, and car sales dipped significantly across the board. Ford was not immune to these market conditions, and despite the Fairlane's innovations and bold styling, it didn't sell as well as the company had hoped. Still, the car remained a strong competitor and helped solidify Ford's place in the full-size car segment. Approximately 295,000 units of the Fairlane were sold in 1958, a respectable number given the economic climate at the time. Another unique aspect of the 1958 Fairlane was its involvement in popular culture. The Fairlane became a symbol of the post-war American dream, prosperity, progress, and the joy of open-road driving. It was a frequent sight in movies, television shows, and advertisements of the era. Its distinctive look made it instantly recognizable, and over the years, it has gained a cult following among vintage car collectors and enthusiasts. Restored 1958 Fairlanes are prized for their striking appearance, historical significance, and the engineering feat of the retractable hardtop, which remains a standout feature even by today's standards. Mechanically, the car was ahead of its time in several ways. It featured a more rigid frame for better safety and ride quality, and Ford also introduced optional power steering, power brakes, and even air conditioning, a luxury in the 1950s. These features made the Fairlane not just a pretty face, but a practical and comfortable family car as well. The combination of style, technology, and performance helped to define Ford's direction in the coming decades. Despite its strengths, the 1958 Fairlane did have some drawbacks. The retractable hardtop, while impressive, was complicated and prone to mechanical issues if not properly maintained. It also significantly reduced trunk space, limiting the car's practicality for families on long trips. The car's weight was another concern. The added components for the retractable roof and the large V8 engines made the Fairlane quite heavy, which in turn affected fuel economy and handling. Still, these shortcomings did little to diminish the car's appeal at the time, especially among buyers looking for something unique and forward-thinking. Over the decades, the 1958 Ford Fairlane has aged gracefully into a beloved classic. It represents a time when cars were more than just a means of transportation, they were statements of style, personality, and optimism. Enthusiasts today continue to restore and showcase Fairlanes at car shows, cruises, and classic auto auctions. The availability of aftermarket parts, restoration guides, and dedicated enthusiast groups has helped keep the Fairlane legacy alive and well. In summary, the 1958 Ford Fairlane is more than just a vintage automobile, it's a snapshot of an era defined by ambition, creativity, and a relentless drive to stand out. With its bold styling, advanced features, and cultural impact, it remains one of the most memorable and collectible cars from the golden age of American automotive design. For anyone passionate about the history of cars or the spirit of the 1950s, the 1958 Fairlane is a symbol of innovation wrapped in chrome and steel. Please subscribe to my channel Car Auto.